Good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be joined by Ebanie Bridges here on the Last Bell Boxing. I'm Dave Lockie, aka the Boxing Viper, and we have Ray Adai as well.
Hello, everybody.
Ebanie, fantastic to meet you again. And
Yes.
you keeping all right?
Yeah, I'm going good. I'm good here in Philadelphia. Like I said, just for it's my rest day, Sunday, so I'm just chilling out. Nothing today. I've had a hard week of training, so.
Yeah, you've been on somewhat of a little bit of a tour recently, haven't you? Since you fought in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been around everywhere.
Yeah,
So,
a little bit of a Johnny Cash.
making the most of my time abroad, I suppose. In Australia, like we're so far away from everything that when we go overseas, you want to kind of make the most of it while you're there because it's such a long way to go back.
Yeah, definitely. So just coming back to picking up from the UK where we left off in the UK with yourself, and that fantastic fight with Shannon Courtney. Congratulations, by the way. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I think you proved to the English fans, you've made a lot more fans over in this country from that effort. What did you take away from it yourself? Was it disappointment, or were you kind of, did you come away with your head held high at the end of that, Ebanie?
Yeah, man. I think that going on, like the fans, I like just saying the British fans, I think it turned a lot of the British haters into fans as well, which was good. So for me, coming away with the win. I definitely, always hold my head high. I always look at, go out my sword. I always give it, the best that I can in that moment. And as you know how the fight went, I had one eye for like 3 rounds, and I got to show the fans a lot more than just my boxing skill. I got to show them the heart that I have in this, and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I'm not, of course, I won't say I'm like disappointed. Like everyone wants to win. I definitely want to win. It would have been better. It was like pretty much for me, it was a perfect fight, a perfect introduction to the UK. They got to see all bits of me. They got to see everything. They got to see how I fight. They got to see my build up. They got to see my weigh-ins. They got to see my heart. The only thing that I didn't get was the belt and my hand raised. But in saying that, everything happens for a reason, and I know why that's happened, and I can see all the good that's come from that happening. Even the loss, you know what I mean? It's how you deal with it, and I think I've dealt with the loss really well. I didn't go around and hide and cry and feel sorry for myself and, all that kind of stuff. I just got on with it and made the most of what was going on at that time. And everyone was talking about me, and everyone was talking about my eye and my heart and everything like that, so I mean, how can you see that as a failure or anything like that? I see it as a win, definitely.
The thing is as well, you've put yourself really amongst, because we all see that women's boxing's booming, but you're really at the tip of everybody's tongue.
Yeah.
And so that can only be good for you, I suppose, is an argument, because you're in the mix now. You've proved you belong at that level.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no matter what, my name always gets brought up, So like someone said to me the other day, you need to do a hashtag always trending. Like no matter what, I mean, it's like, it's just somehow my name comes into things, you know what I mean? And I love that because by my name coming into things, my name coming into conversations about things, is bringing women's boxing into conversation. You know what I mean? And that was my goal. And if you watch the build up in Fight Week, that was what I was always talking about. I just want to bring eyes on the sport. Bringing eyes on me brings eyes on the sport. And I knew that I can fight. I know I can fight. And it was just even more exciting because I got to show that I can fight with one eye and I can go through all that, and show the heart that women have as well to a broader audience. We didn't just have your niche, small women's boxing fans watching, because they're not a big niche. There's a small niche of women's boxing fans. Like if you compare it, you know what I mean? We had male boxing fans tuning in. I had male boxers tuning in. We from all over the world, from America, from Mexico, from Argentina, from Europe, all over the world. We had the soccer dads tuning in. You know what I mean? We had the little girls tuning in. You know what I mean? We had everyone tuning in to that fight. And me and Shannon put on a brilliant fight. We showed a lot of things. I showed that aggressive style. I showed that aggressive style of fight. Come forward. pressure fighter. Shannon showed nice class with her boxing on the back foot, how to circle the ring and move. It showed that kind of styles. You know, there was a bit of dogfight in there. I would have liked it to be a lot more like that, because that's my forte, to sit and punch. And I was actually expecting her to be a bit more come forward and go toe to toe with me. I was looking forward to a center ring kind of fight, but it was a bit of cat and mouse chase. But that's okay. You got to see the heart, that drama in a fight when she got hurt, I got hurt. I got I got big friggin' gruesome, big eye, like all the things that you want to see in a fight. You saw it, and it was two women, including even the build up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the build up there, Ebanie, because I saw a couple of clips on Instagram of you in the bubble. There was a beautiful one where I think you're sitting there with Savannah Marshall, and Shannon Courtney walked past, and you're giving each other a little bit of a scowl. So how important and how crucial was the bubble build, the tensions in the bubble? How did that play along to the fight?
I think it was huge. Like, me and Shannon already had rivalry because we had like previous beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was already people like talking about that fight for a long time anyways. But that pre-fight stuff is what stole the show, man. Like, it's all that kind of stuff. Like, boxing is an entertainment sport. People don't fucking get this. Like, these boxing purists call themselves boxing purists. Like, they're just obsessed with the boxing ring. It's not that. It's an entertainment sport, mate. Like, you got to look at all of it. And that was like a huge thing. And like, Shannon didn't want to play. She wasn't really interested. But that's my personality. Like, I like to stir a bit of shit. I like to talk shit. You know what I mean? Like, and not like as in a talk shit. I don't put people down, and I don't I'm not derogatory in that sense. But I like to have a laugh and a banter. And I was sitting there with Sav, and like, that was the first time me and Sav would really chat. And like, she's cool.
All right, was it?
Yeah. And she's like really cool. And we're having a mad chat. And then all of a sudden I hear this like scuffing, dragging, like she's dragging her feet. Like, what the fuck? I turn around and there's Shannon. Oh shit! And that's the first time we'd run into. I've seen her like the whole time being in the bubble. So it was like that was a genuine, true encounter, first encounter. And that's when I was like, yeah. And I'd go, I can't fucking let this moment go. I have to say something.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. And it went down.
There was times outside of the cameras as well where I was like, which obviously cameras didn't get, which it was just like, just playing, really, me playing, but
it added to the fight, didn't it, Dave? I mean,
definitely.
I would say the women's boxing during this lockdown period that we've had in the fight camps has arguably been better than the men's, to the point now we're not calling it women's boxing, we're just calling it boxing.
Yeah.
And that's a massive compliment, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get into it because I'm a bit split here. I don't think there's a problem with calling it women's boxing. Be proud to be a fucking woman and be able to fight mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like boxing, women's boxing. Like, I don't know. Like, there's all that discussion with that. Yeah, it's boxing, but it's still don't. Why should we turn away from the fact we're women? Why should we not? Why should we not be proud to be women as well, and be called women's boxing and say that women's boxing is good and women's boxing is like the men? Like, I think that's good. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm swearing a lot. Am I allowed to swear? I don't know.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah. I think where I was going for it is a lot of the fans, boxing fans, were like, "Oh, women's boxing." They were a bit sort of looking down on it, but I think now, because of the likes of yourself, who are proving those qualities that you mentioned, it isn't. It's on the TV and people are watching it now. It's not just something to build up the undercard. People are happy to have the main event, to the point where Katie Taylor's last fight, people were saying, well, why is not that the main event? When she fought Natasha Jonas 3-4 years ago, people wouldn't have put that argument. So that's just showing how the game's changed.
That's very true. No, that's very true. 100%. And I do agree, and I do love that that people are doing that. And it's a bit of a it's the narrative that we're pushing. It's the narrative that Eddie Hearn's helping to push. You got to take your hat off to Eddie Hearn, because it's all narrative. It's all what you feed people. People are sheep. You know what I mean? And they are. And if you're feeding them, the right stuff, like women's boxing, and you're showing them good women's boxing, and you're talking about how good women are, and you're, you're actually bigging it up, then that's people gonna follow. People are gonna start like being like, copying that, because people like to regurgitate, and then more people are regurgitating, and then more people are watching, and then it becomes like that snowball effect. Okay, now people were just saying it and they didn't really believe it, but now people are actually believing it because it's getting the views. You know what I mean? It's getting the eyes, and hats off to the women of today, and in the past, obviously, because they were the pioneers. But the skills now, the skills now with the grassroots and the pathways and opportunities that we're getting, it's all becoming, it's better, and that's no dig, the old girls, that's nothing at all, because it was definitely skilled as well. But now we're getting a lot more, a bigger pool of it. It's not just one skilled girl with like, within 50. There's like, we've got top 10s, got top 5s, and that's top 5s, in weight classes, and that's pretty good. I think that's a, and then we got all the ones that are coming up through. Man, I see some of these girls like 10 foot. I think, shit, I'm glad I'll be retired when you come up. Like,
Exactly.
you're 10 years apart. You know what I mean? Like, now I've got that woman's strength. You probably can't beat me up, but if you had the woman's strength, you could beat me up. But no, it's really good to see, and it's good to see saying that there is, girls, there is a lot of young girls. I got so many messages with my fight, after my fight, saying my little girl watched your fight. She's never really watched boxing before, but she watched your fight and she wanted to watch your fight, and you're the first women's fight I've ever watched, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And hearing all this is, for me, that's like my mission's accomplished, because people are watching. And young girls now, they might go, wow, I wanna box like like Ebanie Bridges or like Shannon Courtney or whatever.
Is that the feeling you're getting from Australia? Because obviously that's where you're from. So are you getting a lot of Aussie young girls looking up to you? And because you're getting that in the UK.
Yeah, definitely getting a few. Obviously not as much as the UK and even America. Boxing's not really huge in Australia, but I definitely think that I've made big waves in Australia. I mean, the whole world, but I think in Australia, where it's very hard to kind of crack the mainstream, with boxing, I think I've been able to do that, and my friends at gyms, like at PTs, they're like, oh yeah, there's people at my gym talking about you. They're not even boxers. It's just a normal gym. They're like, oh yeah, Ebanie, because they know she's a boxer. And they're like, oh, do you know the Ebanie Bridges? You know what I mean? And that's really cool, because these aren't even like boxing fans. They're just like, you lifters, or like you people that go and do some kind of like HIIT class or whatever, but they're talking about you, and all the kids at school and their parents and stuff, so it's a ripple effect. And I think it's not a bad one. I think it's a good one. And it's only going to get more and more the more girls that come up, and, everything's happening. It's only been a year where women's, like this last year, where it's really started to take off because of COVID, and now it's kind of on a, what's the word? It's like on a, it's like
crest of the wave.
It's like no slowing down now. Like I still think there's a while to go for some things, but I mean, it's definitely momentum. It's definitely got some serious momentum right now, and there's some still really big fights to be made. You know what I mean? Those big boxing fights that we all want to see now, that take time to make. And they're getting built up now. So imagine in a year or next year when they actually happen in women's boxing. Just
off the back of that, Ebanie, the guy who produces this show, Carl, his 9-year-old daughter Olivia watched your fight, and now she's going to the boxing gym with Carl because of off the back of that fight.
Yeah.
So.
That's brilliant. And you know what? I actually got a lot of messages like that. Now, even like tweets on like what do you call it? Like public tweets saying my daughter watched your fight and now they want to box. You know what I mean? And people give me a lot of slack for like the way I look and the way I dress and how I like to be pretty and put out that femininity and stuff. But little girls, majority of them want to look like little like pretty girls. Like you look up to the pretty girls. Like that's why a lot of little girls like all the hot wrestlers. The babes in wrestling. Like like they look at a your stereotypical pretty girl and they're like, wow, that's what I want to be like. You know what I mean? It's just, and then they say that they box hard and they push all these other, you know, things. I think it's a good example to set. I don't think that we should be, you know, all looking exactly the same, and we should all be, you know, like, you know, very conservative or not so feminine, because this is that non-femininity is what's been done for the last 40 years or whatever, you know. But times are changing. You got all the MMA fighters that are all babes as well, you know what I mean? And it does inspire younger girls, you know, because they want to be feminine. They like Barbies, you know what I mean? Like, they like playing with dolls and pretty things. Like, that's just a natural, generally, I'm not stereotyping, but generally it's a natural kind of intuition for a lot of women. And for the women that it's not, you got other girls as well, you know what I mean? But now there's that variety in combat sports, you know, that doesn't say, okay, well, you know, you have to look a certain way, you have to be a certain way to be a boxer, you know. And if you look like that, you got to play netball. But if you look like that, you got to play, you know, boxing or whatever, you know. Like, I just think that it's good that it's opening up more looks, and that's in sport in general. I think it's happening.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. It can only be good, and I think the more we try to empower that, I think. Do you know what it is? I'm of the opinion that, you know, you're doing what you need to do to make that happen as well, Ebanie. But I think from mine and Ray's perspective, we love the sport of boxing. You know, like that's our main kind of go-to. Now, for us, I still think there needs to be a lot more done from the male side to help the female side as well. I think, do you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of guys who are still out there who have still got that kind of draconian kind of, oh yeah, but they'll never be on our level. And the fact that, you know, I was just having a discussion with someone the other day about the wages that female fighters get paid in comparison to men. And it's disgusting, really, when you look at it. It's, you know, like, how do you feel about that side of it? Is it still like miles away?
Yeah, but I'm a businesswoman, and this is the reality, is that we're still miles away from the views. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how can we expect to get paid the same as the men? It's like the same men don't get paid exactly the same. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it. And that's why I think it's important to build your profile and get your name out and be, you know, all those kind of things. Because realistically, it's a business, it's promotion, you know. And like, we can all say that we get paid and we all do the same graft and we all put our lives at risk, and there should be like a communist pay, and everyone just gets paid exactly the same no matter what. That's why there's characters in boxing. That's why Mayweather makes so much money. That's why, you know, people make more money than others, even in the men's. But in saying that, I still think we definitely do get well underpaid. We do. But the equality thing, I mean, there's not even equality in males boxing. So, like, you know, so I'm just going to say back it in that sense. But I definitely think that we don't get paid enough. But we have to get the numbers up. To do that, we need to promote ourselves. And males, and like you said, the men in boxing need to help promote us. The promoters need to promote us. The TV channels need to promote us. That's how we're going to get the money. Be expecting to get the money if no one's watching.
Yeah.
Fair
you know,
point.
But it takes a community. It takes a lot of people to get there, and I think it will eventually happen. You know, you see Katie Taylor; she's making millions because she gets the views, because she's known. You know what I mean? Clarissa DeSutter, good money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, if no one knows who you are, no one's gonna watch. What are the promoters gonna pull the money from? You know, so I understand that, but I think it's gonna be better, and and that's because of good promoters like Eddie Hearn pushing. You know, there's a few other promoters that are doing as well, but everyone needs to get on board. And I think male boxers can help as well. I saw Anthony Joshua was talking about the women's boxing, which is really important because he's got such a big platform as well. You know, I had a lot of like top male boxers from America and the UK, you know, messaged me after my fight saying, "Wow, you know, we watched your fight. I was one of the first female fights I've watched, legit." Right?
Yeah. Really.
These are male boxers. They don't even watch female boxing. You know what I mean? But I'm glad they watched, because then they might watch again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm just being straight up here. Like, they watched, and you know, we know why they watched, but they watched. Okay. and now they'll probably watch again because now they might be believers. You know what I mean? And then they can go, wow, like that Ebanie Bridges Shannon Courtney fight was amazing. They might talk about that with their buddies, you know. And then people listen to male boxers. People listen to those top 5 guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they can help push our name as well, then that's brilliant.
Yeah. There wasn't anyone who, when I looked on Twitter straight after the fight, you know, you had guys like Dave Caldwell. They were saying this has to be kind of fight of the night, and coming from, you know, top guys in the business, really, saying this. If you tuned in, you'd never watched a boxing fight before in your life, male or female, and you've seen this, and you've seen like those 10 rounds of action, you would just think it was a world-class fight, which it was. You know what I mean? It was 12. It was hard fight for both of you.
And considering the amount of fucking shit that we got for that world title fight, oh, we're not ready for a world title. Oh, the 2 novices. Pretty sure we both didn't fight like novices. Pretty sure we fought like like people that deserved a world title. You know what I mean? People would deserve to be up there because it was class. Yeah. It was skilled. Yeah. It was very skilled. You know what I mean? It was class. It wasn't like 2 bums fighting or 2 novices fighting. You know what I mean? And as much shit that we got for it.
Just speaking of that, Ebanie, obviously you've just fought for a world title. Let's be honest. You're in a stacked division. Yeah. Obviously, you've had some time to come away, build your profile even more, reflect. So, because you're in such a talented division, is there any ideas of where you could potentially go next?
I can go anywhere I want to go.
In terms of opponents.
Oh yeah, I mean, whoever. It's not my job. Obviously, that's my manager's job. That's, promoter's job to put the fights on. I think important. Obviously, I lost. I need to come back and I got to get a win. So that's an important thing for me to get back on. A win, and then from there, I can really, I feel like I can fight. Maybe what's her name, Courtney again for a rematch if she wins. Yeah. Even if she doesn't win, I'll fucking fight her again if she's a loser. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll fight her for no belt. That was a mad fight. And I'm all about giving the fans the fights. I just want to have good fights. I'll fight champions, and I'll go and fight the IBF or the WBC or the, whatever, any of those champions. Because no matter what, I know that I can be up there and I can hold my own, and win or lose is going to be a fucking great fight. And that's what I'm here for. I'm here for good fights. I'm a boxing fan well before I was a boxer. I used to card girl box. I used to be a card girl at boxing fights for like 10 years because it was illegal for women to fight in Australia. So I used to do that so I could be close to boxing. I was a card girl for 10 years just so I could be and watch the boxing at ringside, get paid to watch boxing ringside. I was a fan well before I was ever a fighter. So for me, I know what the fans like, and that's why I give them what they like. I give them mad fights, and I'll always fight like that, and I always fight hard. My favorite fighters are like all those like Gaddy and stuff that go out in their sword and they fight hard. For me, like in women's boxing, I don't think winning and losing is that important. Like, you know what I mean? We just need to give good fights, and that's what's important to build women's boxing. I just proved that you can lose and still win. Everyone's talking about Ebanie Bridges. Everyone's talking about this. No offense to Shannon, full respect to her, she is a champ, but no one's talking about Shannon Courtney. So I just proved that you can lose and win. I'm not scared of losing. What I'm scared of is having a short career as I'm older and taking fucking shitty fights and not having fun in there and not fighting how I want to fight. Yeah,
that would be more of a regret.
Yeah, I love fighting, man. Like, I'd rather go and have a fucking mad hard fight and go like that fight and have everyone talk about it. Even if I lose, I don't care. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it just being a good fight. Of course I want to win. Like, that's why I train hard. I don't train to come second. I don't train to lose. You know what I mean? But I want to have those good fights. And I want to have those world title fights. And I want to fight the best. Because that's what's going to test me. And they're going to be the fun fights.
With the fact that you're talking about being tested, I think the horror injury to your eye in that fight was pretty the mark of a test, in my opinion, because the week after in men's boxing, what happened? Or was it 2 weeks after? Now, a lot of people will say it's not the same injury. A lot of people will say, but at the same time, you've got someone who is talking about who would never be a quitter, who would do this, who would do that. And again, did that prove to you on some kind of, there must have been some kind of satisfaction when, you know, when this alleged tough man who would never quit and would die on his shield kind of shook his head and said no, but you didn't.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, I made a tweet that I got fucking slammed for straight after it. I made articles because I said, literally, swear he just fucking quit because of his eye. Because, like, I was shocked. I'm like, the guy can still, like, see his eyes open. Like, why are you stopping? You know, in hindsight, obviously, his injury was really fucking bad. Like, he's got his face caved in by Canelo. I get it. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, not talking about Billy Joe Saunders, there's plenty of people who quit less than that. Look at, what's his name? Chavez Jr., for fuck's sake. When he quit, you know what I mean? Like, you look at like other fighters, men that do, they stop for little things, you know, like, and that would never happen. Like my first fight, I snapped my ankle in the first 10 seconds of a fight. I broke my ankle.
Yeah, it was like your debut.
Yeah,
I fought three more rounds with a snapped ankle. Like I have no test in my heart, there's no problem. I don't have quit in me, and I swear to God, like I would never quit. I wouldn't, and I pray that the you know, like when with my eye, it's like, I hope he doesn't ask me if I can see, because I'm gonna lie and I'm gonna say, yeah, I can see. Like, don't stop this fight on me, because if you do, I'll be devastated. But in saying that, I also do hope that I do have a corner that when I should be quitting, that they do their job as well. Because much as my pride and I can't quit, I mean, as much as I'd be angry at a corner to pull me out, if it was really gonna, you know, affect my health, then I would hope that I did have a corner that would look after me, because I fucking won't look after myself. I won't.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't never. I would personally never ever quit. If someone, even if I was like, I don't know what, I can't even think of something that would be so fucked up. Like, I mean, caved in face, whatever, broken jaw, anything that was really bad, you know. And I said, and they asked me, "Are you okay?" I'd say, "Yeah, I'm okay." Yep, keep going. I want to keep going. Just like when I snapped my ankle, my coach was like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "I want to fucking bash the bitch. Like, I'm not going to stop. I don't care if I have to drag my foot behind me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stop." But if it is a future thing, I kind of hope that my corner's experienced enough to pull me out. I'd probably get really, really angry, upset, probably want to punch him. But I know in hindsight, afterwards, I would probably be thankful. So, you know, and that's what I say. Like, sometimes it is a bit of a like, is it like bravery or stupidity? And 100%, like, with me, it'd be both. I'd be like stupidly brave, you know.
But that's the kind of fighters that like you said, you've alluded to before, just Gatti, Ward.
Yeah.
That was what they did, wasn't it? They would never have dreamed of
all
stopping.
My favorite fighters. Yeah, like Barrera had a caved in eye socket as well. He fought. Yeah. He's fought with a broken eye socket. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like there's heaps of fighters that got that. Like, and you know, I grew up with those kind of fighters. So yeah, I just don't have that in me, man. Like, you know, and I wouldn't want ever my corner to throw the towel in on me. I wouldn't. But if they did, and it seriously saved my health, then I mean, afterwards, after like probably yelling and crying and hating them, I'm like, okay, guys, thank you.
Well, let's hope you're never in that position, Debbie. But yeah, I mean,
let's hope I don't get any more headbutts.
Exactly. I thought it was a clean punch. I thought it was enough, but never mind. I'm joking. Yeah, I mean, I was saying I thought it was a clean punch. It wasn't. It wasn't a clean punch. It was,
No, it was definitely a headbutt.
We've seen it.
No, that's true. Come on, feel that. She's 118 pounds.
Exactly. But no, I appreciate. Look, it's, you know, we've had you on here for nearly half an hour. We did say we would keep it short and sweet. We will obviously have opportunities to get you back on the channel, Ebanie. We really appreciate the fact that you've taken time out of your day to day.
Guys, I appreciate you getting me on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Dave, you're a day winner, you know, so I appreciate you, and you know,
thank you very much.
A lot.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure Ray will testify you're a very good advocate for female boxing, and just boxing in general. Just boxing in general. I think you've done a lot since, and especially in the UK. So you have got a strong fan base over here.
Yeah.
So
you know, I'm going to cut you in there. Like, it's not just for boxing that I'm trying to advocate, you know, it's for women and for children and for adolescents coming up. Like, I think it's really important to push that message to just, you know, go after your dreams and be you and you know, stay true to yourself, you know what I mean? And that's why I'm able to push that message on a bigger platform now with my boxing, God willing, you know what I mean? I'm so happy that I'm able to do that, you know. Originally it was just always in my classroom, you know, with the students and stuff, but now I'm able to, you know, inspire the younger generation on a wider platform and show them that you can do and be anything you want. Doesn't matter how you look, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter anything, you know what I mean? It's just about believing in yourself and going after what you want. So, you know, I'm hoping that that's a message outside, not just the boxing, but, you know, just in life that I can push.
Definitely. I think you're doing a very good job of that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much once again, Ebony, and you take care. Enjoy Philadelphia.
And one more time, I just want to show my shirt.
Yeah. Go on, plug it away.
Fight like a girl. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Shout out to Rachel Ball's trainer Gav. His wife made the shirt. So.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Thanks once again.
it.
All right. Take care, Ebony.
Thanks.
Take care. Nice to meet you. Bye.
All right.